Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. Today I will be sharing with you how to make these super cute teddy fabric pumpkins. You will need your fabric. I got my teddy fabric from Hobbycraft, but you don't actually need to buy a new fabric if you already have an old jumper that you could use. Then you'll need a stitching thread, woolly thread, scissors, stitching needle and some sort of stuffing for your pumpkin. I used the stuffing from an old cushion that I wasn't using. So let's begin. I've pre-cut my fabric 8 inches by 18 inches. I'm starting by folding the fabric in halves so that I'm working on the inside of the fabric. I'm getting my needle and stitching thread and I'm making a knot at the starting point to make sure that the thread doesn't come out when I start stitching. This is very quick to stitch by hand, but if you have a sewing machine, even better. All you need is a basic stitch here to keep the fabric together, and as you can see, I'm doing it by just weaving in and out of the fabric. You will need to make a knot at the end too to make sure that your thread doesn't come out. And once secure, you can cut the thread. And here is a close-up of how this stitch looks like. Now I will start working on the bottom of the pumpkin. I will be following that same process again with a slight difference. So make a knot at the start and use that same straight stitch again by weaving through the fabric. So now that I've got to the end of it, instead of making a knot, I'm pulling the thread carefully as tight as possible, and then I will secure it with a knot. I did a few knots here just to make sure it stays that way and the thread doesn't come out. Now I'm turning my fabric inside out again and it kind of looks like a little bag. This time, instead of stitching both sides of the fabric together, we will be using that same straight stitch on the single side of the fabric, and just like before, make a knot and weave through the fabric. Now that I've got to the end of it, you can see when I pull the thread, it starts creating a round shape. At this stage, I will leave the needle and thread loose on the side. And I'm starting to stuff my pumpkin. The key here is to make sure it's quite full, but not overstuffed. Once you've stuffed it, you want to pull the thread together to close the pumpkin. Get it as tight as you can and then follow by stitching it together. I kind of overkilled it here with the stitches. You don't actually need to make that many, but I just wanted to make sure it's fully secure and doesn't open up again. Once you're happy, just cut the thread off, and it should look something like this if you followed my steps. Now I'm taking my woolly thread and getting the needle in the bottom of the central part of the pumpkin and through the center of the top. And then I'm wrapping it around to the bottom again and getting my needle through to the top. And you want to pull your thread quite tight here to make sure you get that pumpkin shape. And now do it on the opposite side. I'm repeating this process 8 times in total. Once you've done it 8 times, you want to create a knot and cut it off when it's secure. It's starting to look a little bit like a pumpkin at this stage, but we are still missing the stem. For the stem, I'm using this fabric, which I also got from Hobbycraft. I am just rolling it up to create something that looks like a stem. You can obviously make it as thick or thin as you want, whatever you think looks better. And I'm just securing it with hot glue, but if you don't have a hot glue gun, you can either stitch it together or use super glue. And now I'm just adding some hot glue on the bottom of the stem, and I will be placing that on the central part of the pumpkin. And this is the first pumpkin finished. It was really quick to make and I just love it so much, especially with the teddy fabric and the rusty color too. Now I will show you very quickly how I made a much bigger pumpkin in the white teddy fabric, but as the process is the same as before, I will be skipping quite a lot of bits just to show you the end result. For the bigger pumpkin, I pre-cut my fabric to 12 inches by 26 inches and literally just follow the same process again. I found that this one was much harder to make as the material was a lot thicker, so it was a little bit harder to get the needle through the fabric. This time for the stem, I will use the inside of the toilet roll. I'm rolling it up and securing it with hot glue. And then I'm sticking this thread onto it by rolling it around the cardboard base. I cut a little circle and stuck it to the bottom of the stem, which will be the base of the stem and will allow me to stick it to the actual pumpkin. And this is the end result, and I think it looks so amazing, and it was actually very easy to make. I know these are quite popular at the moment, and if you want to buy a few of them, can be quite costly, so this is such a great way to save your money, or even if you just wanted a little DIY project. I can't wait to decorate my house with these, and I actually made 4 in total. I only showed you 2 because the other ones are pretty much the same, just in different sizes. Please let me know in comments which color is your favorite. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see similar content in the future, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as this would really help my page. And I will see you on my next video.